Hello, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow Episode 2. Last time we went back to Scarlet Hollow, the city, town, and met our cousin Tabitha, and we went into the woods with a YouTuber, and things went about as bad as you could imagine. A lot of scary things are happening, so let's find out what happens in Episode 2. Okay. No. You open your eyes. The sun has risen. The birds are singing. You are still alive, and for now you're safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window in the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there, right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, tangling into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember Duke slumped up against a tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. You're not sure if you'll ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress. Okay. Check on the possum! You open the drawers to check in on the possum you met yesterday. Good, he's still here, that's nice. I need a friend. I need another friend. It gave me much comfort last time. Let's see. I should have thought ahead. I like this silly one. Okay. I want to pat him, but he looks like he wants to be left alone. You reach in to pat the little man. He immediately plays dead. You leave him to his theatrics and close the door. Great, the doll didn't move last night. Maybe it isn't haunted after all. Though after everything you went through yesterday, that's hardly a consolation. You turn back to the rest of the room. Look out the window. You creep towards the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. For a second you thought you saw movement. It could have been an animal. It could have been something else. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Maybe you'll head out there and investigate after you've woken up. It's probably a good idea to check in with your new friend. You can't imagine she's holding up very well. Hey, how are you doing? It might take her a minute to get back to you. In the meantime, get dressed and head back to the kitchen. Time to start your day. You're back in the kitchen. Frou-Frou eyes you from her favorite spot on the counter. I'll leave the cat be. She clearly doesn't want to be touched. You leave her be. Maybe she'll come to you when you're more comfortable. Hey. Did you know the police called me this morning? You've only been here one day and you've already had a run-in with the cops. Ooh. Did they say anything about Duke? Did they find the body? Body? They didn't say anything about a body, but apparently he never went home last night. They had quite a few questions about you, Liv. Before you ask, don't worry. I told them you're an upstanding citizen. You seem unfazed by this. A man's dead. Some old farmer disappeared after going hunting in the middle of the woods at night. So what? Something like that was bound to happen eventually, and frankly, you're lucky it didn't happen to you. Do I seem unfazed? Maybe I am. I'm just sick of dealing with other people's problems. Just make sure nothing happens again for the rest of the week, alright? I'm sorry. Good. I gotta get to work. But listen, you better stay out of trouble today. I want you home by sunset. I don't want to hear complaints, just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her steps fade down the hall, ending in the characteristic creak and then slam of the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you're the only human in the estate. Text from Stella. Hey, love, thanks for checking in. Hope you're alright, all things considered. I'm doing okay. Not great, but hanging in there. Up most of the night on cryptid forums, but no good answers yet. I'm at the library if you want to join. I have scones. On my way. Cool. And that's that. Time to start your day. Okay, make a jelly sandwich. Sure, Stella might have scones at the library, but scones are later. Jelly sandwich is now. You quickly scrape together the ingredients and gobble up a delicious breakfast. Okay, let's investigate the garden. Your eyes wander to the garden door. You shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw in your upstairs window. It was probably just a raccoon, but the uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you and compels you to investigate, if only to prove it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. I see a possum. Let's see. I don't see any creatures. That looks like a demon boy. You wander further into the garden, trying to pinpoint the spot where that thing might have been lurking, if indeed there had been a thing to begin with. The garden is peaceful, but undeniably eerie. Here, more than anywhere else, you're surrounded by the ghost of what this place used to be. A greenhouse sits in the midst of the overwhelming greenery, unreachable from years of neglect. Its glass, clouded and cracked. Statues reach out from within, seeds of weeds as if begging to be rescued. And most strikingly, behind a pair of rusted metal gates, at the very peak of the mountain, sits a graveyard. You can just make out a few of the headstones, the Scarlet name carved deep and proud into their faces. You notice what a good view someone would have of your window if they stood where you're standing right now. Check the ground for clues. You crouch down, pushing aside the greenery to examine the soft earth. A boot print, a big boot print, and what looks like some kind of viscera. Your thoughts turn to the specter from the night before. You snap a quick photo just in case it comes in handy later. I'll keep it to myself for now. No need to cause any worry just yet. You head back inside. Time to figure out what to do with the rest of your day. Trying to clean up the bathroom. That's nasty. Head to town. Tabitha isn't here to stop you now. You head outside, back to the mountain path that leads to town. The walk back to town is much less pleasant than it was yesterday, when you didn't yet know that the woods were full of monsters and strange men who knew your name. You stare anxiously into the darkness between the trees, searching for any signs of movement, but the woods are still, at least for now. The autumn-tinged mountains, sprawling for miles in every direction, now feel less like beautiful scenery and more like the walls of a cage. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Look who I found at library. She said she was up all night thinking about the video, adding you to the group text. She's so cute. I'm only here because it's quieter than the store, or was. I'm trying to figure out what animal that could be. I don't buy into this harbinger of doom stuff. We know what animals they are. They're ditchlings, and they are harbingers of doom. Sounds like they're having fun. On my way. Almost back to town. You make it to town in one piece. No creatures jumped out at you. No scary men blocked your path. The sight of other people is comforting, helping you forget the things you've witnessed as if they happened to someone else. Oh, hey, Lev. We were just talking about you. I stopped by Sybil's to pick up a new tea blend, and, well, you're the biggest thing to come into town since the coal mine. Folks have been absolutely buzzing about you. You went out with Stella last night, right? Did something happen out there? She barely even waved when we walked by. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Duke had a hunting accident. We bumped into Duke a couple times while we were out there, and he had a hunting accident. Whoa, what? Is he okay? No. I'm afraid Duke is no longer with us, Avery. Holy crap, I can't believe this is the first I've heard of it. Has anyone told Beau? Yes, he's taking it about as well as you can imagine. I'll be going up to check on him today, the poor lad. I can't believe you had to see that, Lev. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Sybil's new blend and try to calm your nerves. It's chaga and lemon balm. It's always helped me on bad days. And if you need to talk about what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around. Lev. See you, Sybil. Take care now, Avery. I see you're a private person. I can respect that. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you encountered last night. I'd better get back to it myself. I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up. Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can be of any help. What aren't you telling us? I have so many questions. Thanks, Sybil. Of course. Stay safe, Lev, and God bless. You probably have a bit of time before you're needed at the library. You head towards the diner. The diner's a little quiet today. The air is heavy with the tantalizing smell of breakfast. Talk to Avery. You slide in to booth across from Avery. Hey there, stranger. Before you can exchange words, Winnie sidles up, a fresh mug of tea in hand. Heard you might need this. The answer to 29 down is oink, by the way. What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that a song a pen makes? Wait, pen like a pig pen? Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that? I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just gonna frustrate you. It's just something to do to fill the time, but maybe I should switch to Sudoku. Winnie leaves Avery contemplating daily newspaper puzzles, returning to her seat behind the counter. So, what the hell really happened last night? You can tell me, I won't judge. What if you don't believe me? I'm not here to judge, I'm here to listen. Tell Avery about last night. You share everything, glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you've witnessed. That is some heavy stuff, no wonder. Stella seemed distant. Monsters in the woods. I may not have lived here long, but I've never heard of anything like that happening around these parts. How exciting. Now that I think about it, when the cops came in the morning for their coffee, they mentioned something about going in the woods to look for someone. It must have been Duke. They seemed so disconnected from it. I figured it couldn't be very serious, but wow. So true. I'm sure they've seen worse. Cops out here in the middle of nowhere. Hunting accidents, bear attacks. Not that I've heard of, at least. It's not like I've been in Scarlet Hollow long. But the cops here on most mornings to get their coffee fix, so I've got to know them pretty well. The worst they usually have to deal with are property disputes. I'd be surprised if they actually knew what to do in a real emergency. I hadn't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from? Moved here from Charlotte. Gosh, 3 years ago now? Maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the Cole folks grew up in this town, so it's like I'm the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly, but there's a shared history I'll never be part of. Ooh, maybe you're more at home here than you think. Stella really talked up your party yesterday. I don't think she'd have done that if she didn't think you were really part of the town. It could be you're getting in your head about fitting in. Hey, thanks. I actually hadn't thought about it like that. Why'd you leave Charlotte? If you don't mind me asking. Nah, that's cool. I was having some issues with my folks about my education, which wasn't great, especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. Do you regret moving here? I don't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Aunt Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. You should get out of here before things get any worse. If you have a car, drive away. There's no way I could get Aunt Winnie to leave, and I'm not going anywhere without her. Not after everything she's done for me. Even if there are monsters in the hills. I'd rather face what's coming head on than start someplace new without my family. Oh, looks like my shift is starting. I hope you're doing a bit better. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner's where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Avery slips out of the booth, giving a half wave before disappearing into the back. You leave the diner, ready to continue your day. Okay, let's go to the library. Let's not delay any longer. You enter the former town hall. What once must have been a stately foyer has since been converted into rows of shelves. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh hey, you made it! That's an interesting painting. A bunch of people carrying out someone. And the kids looking. You head over to Stella's table and settle in. You made it. Glad you could join us. Morning, Lev. You look tired. It was hard to fall asleep last night, all things considered. I can't say I got a wink myself. Same. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Before you dig in, you remember the boot print you found in the garden. Hey, before we dig in, I found something in the garden this morning. You hold up your phone and show Kaneeka and Stella the photo you took in the garden. These prints were in the bushes with a clear line of sight to my window. Dang, that's creepy. Are you okay? What is that liquid around it? It looks like pus. Pus. I can't say I'm thrilled at the thought of someone watching my room. No kidding. Maybe you'd be safer if you don't stay at the estate. Do you think it could be that creep we saw outside the general store last night? He knew your name, and those boot prints match up with the mining getup. Whoa, apparently I missed a lot last night, huh? You're not talking about Wayne, are you? That guy keeps coming to my mom's tea room. I think there's something really wrong with him. Yeah, we are. I wonder if there's any connection between that guy and what happened in the woods last night. Like, what? I mean, I don't have anything specific, but we do have the whole prophecy of impending doom angle to explore, and this photo is weird. I can't stop thinking about those splatters on the ground. If this whoever left those prints is sick, maybe it's from those creatures you encountered. Hey there, strangers. And literal stranger. Hey, I'm Lev, Tabitha's cousin. I'm in town for the funeral. Oh, I should have known you were Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's, strong. I'm Oscar Gutierrez, chef librarian, and, only librarian. Oscar is amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Y'all are too kind, but speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I want to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know, the crowd she hangs out with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? It's this old abandoned spot. It's practically a magnet for young people. Even honor students aren't free from its call. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors there were like Swiss cheese. I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. You say nothing and let the others talk. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? Kaneeka's right. There's some weird stuff going on out in the woods. That's actually why we came out here today. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They apparently show up in places around places on the brink of disaster, and they kind of look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was a creepypasta. Kaneeka's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings, that doesn't ring a bell. Well, worth a shot. If you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? I don't know just yet. I'll be right back. Gonna go nab some more books. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen. Oh, you don't have to worry about her. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old gal. Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit, drool leaking from her toothless mouth as she swallows it whole. Oops. Trying to do this. Had to get a good shot. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in these woods. I don't believe in the supernatural stuff, but the woods aren't safe. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble. And we'll be sure to keep our eyes peeled. Oh. Lev, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know her dad is worried about her? Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him. Just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. Stella sets down a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. All right. This is going to be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our books. Let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. Okay, let's flip through Veins of Scarlet, a history of Scarlet Hollow coal mines. Forced into retirement at age 50 due to a war injury from his time in the Indian Wars, exacerbated by his short stint serving as captain of the Confederacy, Silas Scarlet also lost his two oldest sons to the bloodiest of wars, leaving his third oldest son, Andrew Jackson Scarlet, to take charge of the mine. Under his leadership, the mine prospered, undoubtedly in part due to the growth of the railroad industry. Managed to evade the coal union for decades, making them one of the most profitable mines in the country. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town into what is today, with expensive stone buildings, a bustling main street, and overseeing it all, this elegant Scarlet estate that was, until 1895, the largest and finest feat of architecture in the region, culminating in the tragic collapse of 1918. It was found that Charles Shaw, the co-manager of the mine, had loosened security measures to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse and the deaths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Scarlet's son, Theodore, his brother Enoch V. Scarlet, who had taken over for their aging father during the bustle of the war, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin, thereby saving the town. So this is how your family made its fortune? Flip through Silas Scarlet, soldier, woodsman, leader. Silas Everett Scarlet was born to Colonel Everett J. Scarlet in 1818, one of 12 siblings. He grew up in eastern North Carolina during a tumultuous time in the state's history, and not much is known about his life before he joined the Army in 1836. He quickly rose through the ranks, in part due to his father's connection, but also due to a particular ruthlessness, for which he received the nickname Bloody Silas Scarlet. The federal government granted the now Captain Silas a tract of bounty land in exchange for his service in the Indian War, and he settled into the hills of North Carolina in 1841. That land would become Scarlet Hollow. But it started as a simple log cabin, built by Silas's own two hands, accompanied by his family of 10, Silas, his wife Mary Joseph Scarlet, and their 8 children. Logging business brought many workers and fellow landowners to the hills, but it wasn't until Silas discovered rich seams of coal running underneath the entire region that Scarlet Hollow was really put onto the map. He saved what he could and bought the surrounding hillside at a great discount, cleverly hiding what he knew about the land's true value. Thus, he had all the resources to found Scarlet Hollow's now famous coal mine. Okay, now Appalachian folk monsters. Very fun. Wampus cat. A large cat-like creature with a loud, howling voice, often said to sound like a woman crying out in pain. Often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought revenge against a monstrous cat demon for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down, and by wearing a bobcat mask, tricked it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of the region from its evil. Others say the creature comes from the story of a woman who wore the pelt of a wild cat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt, and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat, forced to walk the wilderness alone, feared by all. Her calls are those of great sadness, and serve as a warning to anyone who dares go against tradition. Tommyknockers. Enigmatic, cave-dwelling creatures primarily known for causing mischief. Tommyknockers originated in Cornish mythology, spreading to the United States when Cornish immigrants began working in the Appalachian mines. They're named for the knocking that can be heard seemingly from within the walls before a cave-in. According to some, the knocking serves as a benevolent warning. Others believe that the creatures take stolen hammers to the supports of mines and collapse them on whoever is unfortunate enough to still be inside. They're traditionally thought to be impish, leprechaun-like beings, but some claim they are the spirits of dead miners, forever cursed to haunt their final resting place. Talipo, a small creature with a long tail and wide yellow eyes. There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods, all alone with his hunting dog. One night, a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs empty, the hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. A small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his action. But it was quick and ran back through a tidy hole and out of sight, leaving only its long black tail shot off by the hunter's rifle. "Guess this'll have to do," he said to his dog, and threw the tail in a pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail both filling them up. The hunter crawled into bed satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke to the sound of long nails scrabbling across the wood. His dog was nowhere in sight, only a rumpled spot on the covers where he'd been, and in the gloom he saw two big yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my Talipo." A high, hoarse voice creaked from the darkness. "Go away," he screamed at the thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of long claws dragging across hard wood, accompanying its movements. "I want my Talipo," the creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you," the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear, but there was no dog to be seen. "I want my Talipo." Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws stretched out towards the hunter. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney standing alone in the woods. You close the book and put it back. "I think I'm all done. Let's check in." Alright, if we're going with what Kaneeka's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as what brought the ditchlings here. But not nuclear incidents. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about y'all? Did you find anything? A kitty? Before you can respond, a handsome black cat leaps onto the table. Almost on instinct, Stella slams her book shut. "Aw, hey, Pixel." "You might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find." "Don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats." Pixel immediately goes to town on Stella's treats. Wow. Sorry if Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he hasn't gobbled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. You decide to leave Pixel be. The cat curls up on the table, fast asleep. "Alright, I'd better get back to shelving. Let me know if you need anything." Oh. Talk about veins of Scarlet. So, about the coal mines here. Kaneeka visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel bad for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. Valid. A union-busting mine collapsed from poor working conditions? Color me shocked. Yeah, it's pretty awful. That's what the sculpture out front is for, commemorating all the men and children who died that day. Every kid in Scarlet Hollow learns about the collapse of 1918. Our teachers love to emphasize how many children they had working down there, probably to show us how good we have it or whatever. Low bar if you ask me. You know, that could be what the ditchlings are warning us about, another collapse? Writing it down on the list of potential disasters. Yeesh, Stella, that's morbid. And besides, it was all Charles Shaw's fault. The labor market is way more strict now. There's no way you could get away with that kind of safety cutbacks he pulled. Okay, I'm blocking him. Okay. Y'all don't actually think the mine is about to collapse, right? No, I don't think so. Huh. Had me worried for a moment. I hate to give Tabitha any credit, but the mine is safer now than it was back then. Still, what a horrible thought. You never know. Wayne definitely does seem sick. Okay. I agree with Stella. Maybe the ditchlings are warning us of another collapse. I really wouldn't put too much stock into that. So, Silas Scarlet. This seems like a great dude. I should have known it wouldn't be pretty. I figured old money from the South wouldn't be great, but he sure did some things to get where he was, huh? That book is a perfect example of why you should use multiple sources for your research instead of trusting the first thing you read on a subject. Oscar, this is an A, B, and C conversation. Yep, dude was a monster. The mines made a lot of money during the Civil War, too, and you can probably guess which side a North Carolina business owner would be working for. Sorry you're related to him. He seems like a terrible person, but I don't see what that has to do with bad omens or creatures in the woods. I agree. We're talking about ancient history here. Yeah, we probably have better leads. It never hurts to have historical context. Any luck with Rosalina, old man? Just kidding. Do you think Wayne factors into any of this? I honestly wouldn't be shocked. There's something seriously wrong with him, like I can viscerally feel it in my guts. Maybe he's sick. Maybe that has something to do with what you saw in the woods. I don't know. I'd buy it. So, Appalachian folk monsters. Do you think the ditchlings are Tommyknockers? What with the whole warning thing? Good thought, but Tommyknockers live in the mines. That's like their whole thing. I'm gonna write it down though. Tommyknockers are literally just the sounds that happens when a bunch of wood and rocks are about to collapse. Are they? Or are the sounds of mysterious creatures pounding on the rocks and support beams with hammers to cause the collapse? There's simply no way to know. My mom used to tell me that Tailypo story back when I was little. I can't believe I forgot that one. It scared me so bad I didn't eat soup for years. I thought a monster might try and dig out of my stomach if it did. Okay, that's how you know this is fiction, because I would never stop eating soup for years. I love that one. There's this old chimney in the woods that I used to think was the chimney from Talipo, the one that was left after the thing did whatever it did. Now I know that's just because chimneys don't burn down and wooden houses do. That doesn't mean it's not the chimney from Talipo. I've camped out there a couple of times and seen some pretty spooky stuff. Yeah, I watched that video. You saw raccoons. You're gonna get rabies one of these days chasing after wildlife like that. What can I say? I like to live on the edge. Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Yeah. Apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. The first 2 bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but it later came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which failed to trigger on descent. And 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right. It's conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. Oh god, we're screwed. The nuke could have made the ditchlings. We shouldn't be looking too much into this whole disaster angle. Whatever those creatures are, they're biological. Also, Goldsboro is almost 400 miles away. Look, you never know with radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you, it doesn't make you monsters. And 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. You never know, there could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants, just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. What do y'all think? There's an awful lot of related stuff in my notes. Maybe that should be our next stop. We can poke around and find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you're suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We're not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? Right? Yeah, totally. 100%. I would never. I don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good, let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. I promise, Neeks. We're just going to question some of the miners. And if questioning gives us a good reason to poke around, say, a cool abandoned coal mine, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm not going underground. Just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. Okay, good. And hopefully we can find out what happened to Wayne while we're at it. I'm sure Tabitha's going to love that we're snooping around. We'll just have to make sure we don't get caught. We'll be super sneaky. I can even keep lookout. Look at us, going on a caper together. I missed this. I missed it too. Though, there is something missing. Reese. I really miss that dude. I can't believe how long it's been. Have you seen him lately? No. I've tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. He seems excited to meet Lev. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Hell yeah, let's do it. See ya, Oscar. I will let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep you posted. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Reese, it's Stella. I brought some buddies, too. Not so loud. He's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel her simmering with irritation. You can practically feel her simmering irritation washing over you. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it'd be okay if Reese could come hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise. I'm not going to wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it. Whatever you two have planned is beyond what he can manage right now anyway. Oh, poor Reese. It's just been so long since either of us have gotten the chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Lev would get along super well, too. Oh. We're just going on a light walk. I've heard such great things about your son. I'm only in town for a few more days, and it'd be a shame if I didn't get the chance to meet him. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down and sighs. All right, you win. He's usually feeling his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper, and y'all can hang out a little bit. I don't promise he'll be perky, but I'm sure he can brighten his spirits to see you again. I'm sure he'd be happy to meet you too. That'd be great. I can bring a side dish, maybe deviled eggs. Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Okay, I'll bring soda then. That's not... Okay, yes, you can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. And leave the dog at home. She might cheer him up, you know. They have those therapy dogs at the hospital. No dogs. Thanks so much. Dr. Kelly, we'll stop bothering you now. See you later. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and quickly shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. That woman makes me so nervous. She used to be so nice when we were kids. She always had the best stickers when we had to get our shots. Maybe she's just a little stressed about Reese. Or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, I guess it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Yeah, sorry. I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool, I'll take my shortcut. It shouldn't take me too long to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Lev. Don't worry, I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kaneeka. I'm sure you're probably sick of the woods. Either way works for me. I'm gonna walk with Stella. I'll meet you there. The woods are calm and serene compared to last night, though you can't help but feel that danger lurks just beyond the trees. Thanks for coming along with us. With Gretchen and me, I mean. I hope I haven't seemed too cold about everything that happened last night. The truth is that I'm barely keeping myself together. I just don't know how to let it out. Duke died out there last night, and I can't stop thinking about it might have been my fault. If only I didn't drag you along to the woods. If only I did anything when everything went sideways. Stella pauses, searching for what to say. It's like there's this guilt boiling under my skin, but the only way I can process what happened today is by turning off the part of me that feels things. When I'm around other people, it's like I think of Duke dying as just a thing that happened. Like it's just a part of another video. Because if I actually admit to other people that I feel something, then I'd have to admit to myself what happened is my fault. Toughen up. I can't have you falling apart on me. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. You and Gretchen have gone into the woods at night dozens of times by yourself, and nothing like this has ever happened before. How could you have known? Thanks, Lev. I think I needed to hear that. The conversation comes to a dramatic halt, with you, Stella, and Gretchen all whirling around to see the source of the sound. A cardinal. Calm down, girl. It's just a bird. The same probably goes with the two of us. I guess we're all a little on edge. Let's hurry to the mine. It shouldn't be farther. Much farther. Kaneeka casually leans against her van as you and Stella emerge from the woods. Hey. You have a good walk? Yeah, it was great. I mean, not that you were missing out or anything. You didn't run into any of those creatures, did you? Nope. That makes sense. They're probably nocturnal. I don't know if I feel relieved or disappointed. But we're all here. What's the plan? I guess we just go talk to people. I guess so. I should probably be on lookout duty. I'm kind of a persona non grata in the mines. Tabitha? Yeah, I might have tried sneaking in to talk to her a time or two too many. And Gretchen makes it extra hard to be sneaky. We're probably less likely to get caught if only one of us goes snooping down there. I call the dibs. I love to do a good sneak. If Stella's going on lookout duty and only one of us is going in, what's the third person gonna do? You know those cheesy rom-coms where someone wears an earpiece on their first date? Whoa, do you have some kind of surveillance rig in the back of your van that I didn't know about? What? No. I have a pair of earbuds with a really good mic. We can just do a group call. Okay, I do love a good sneak. You're gonna do great. Kaneeka hands you a pair of earbuds. We can feed you questions if you get stuck, and Stella can give you a heads up if Tabitha's heading your way. Dang, I've missed doing this sort of thing with you. You're so thorough. Aw, thanks, I do my best. I guess we should part ways and start the call, yeah? Stella and Kaneeka break off, leaving you alone at the entrance of the mines. Hey, can you hear us? Try saying something. You're loud and clear. Cool, same goes for you. Nothing to do about now but enter the work site. You pass through the unlocked fence and enter the property of the Scarlet Hollow Mine. I'm in. Alright, Morpheus, good to know. You approach the nearest group of miners, a blonde woman, a broad-shouldered man, and an old-timer. Their uniforms mark them as Harrison, Davis, and Sachs. You got a good reason to be bothering us? I met this guy on the bus. Seen anything weird lately? The miners look you up and down. Weird how? Weird animal sightings? No. You been talking to that townie? The one the boss gave a lifetime ban to? Wait, are they talking about me? Yeah, she's like a Bigfoot YouTuber or something. Her videos are actually pretty good. Yep, that's me alright. That's so sweet. But now that I think about it, it's pretty weird. I haven't been seeing many animals at all. Used to, I'd see all sorts of creatures. Now, it's mostly birds. It's your first year up here, ain't it? Just not used to the seasons changing. And all the animals hibernating, that's all. I don't know, she's got a point. I've been up here 5 years now, and it's never been like this before. Maybe it's global warming, then. I think they're calling it climate change now. Oh, I lost my chance to talk about Wayne. Ask them about Wayne. You guys know anything about a guy named Wayne? Yeah, we knew him. He was such a cut-up. Miss that dude. What happened to him? The miners shift for a moment, uncomfortably glancing at one another. Isn't that the guy y'all said was, he's gone. That's all that matters. So, what do you think of Tabitha? The miners stare at you, distrust in their eyes. Harrison chews her sandwich slowly. She works hard. She's a good boss. Who's asking? Y'all seem nervous. I can't blame you. Tabitha can be awfully frightening. She makes me so nervous. Always acts like someone spat in her coffee. Shut the hell up, both of you. Do you not value your jobs? They've been looking at any excuse to lay folks off. They're laying folks off? That's the first I've heard of it. Guess once you lose your job here, you're probably not going to stick around for very long. Please know that I don't usually associate with these two, and their views do not reflect my own. I love it here, and I'm fiercely loyal to Miss Scarlet. That's all. Thanks. Bye. You walk away from the miners. You head over to the main office to try and talk to Tabitha. A flash of movement in your periphery stops you in your tracks. There's something lurking in the shadows to your right, and against your better judgment, you turn to face it. You shouldn't have come here. It's dangerous. Ghost. Do you need help? It looks like you're hurt. So you aren't afraid of me. Good. Protect yourself before worrying about others, Lev. I'm the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Before you can say another word, the figure is gone. Hey, Lev, are you still there? We've just been getting static from you. Wayne got the jump on me. I thought I saw you talking to someone down there. Are you okay? He said some real ominous shit to me. I'm the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety, that sort of thing. Is he my father? What the hell's that supposed to mean? Yeah, I care about your safety. This just means we're on the right track. I'm not about to back down. Wow, so brave. Heck yeah, Lev, we've got your back. I'm going to find Tabitha first. She deserves to know what's going on. You make your way to the trailer in the middle of camp. Enter. You enter Tabitha's trailer and find her sitting at her desk, her head buried in her hands. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the gun hanging above Tabitha's desk, but then they drift to the bulletin board on the side of the wall. It's plastered with wanted photos for Stella, as well as a number of suspiciously ordinary photos of her and Gretchen. What are you doing here? And what are those ridiculous things doing in your ears? Oh crap, good luck. Sorry, love. Is that Stella and Kaneeka? Are you spying on me? Tabitha snatches the earbuds out of your ears and throws them to the ground. That's rude. Typical phone-addicted city dweller. Ugh. What do you want? Be quick before I kick you out. I didn't like how we left things off this morning. Tabitha sighs. You have to understand how much is on my plate right now. And you also swung by unannounced and just barged into my office without anyone's help getting here or finding this place just to say that? Yep. Look, that's thoughtful of you, but I'd prefer you didn't go running around the mine. There's a lot of heavy machinery, and you could get hurt. I'm kind of swamped right now. I was getting ready for a big meeting when you walked in. But if you want, you can just wait here for an hour or so, and I can swing back when I'm done and pick you up. Just don't go around bothering my men, don't move a muscle, and don't so much as make eye contact with them. They're supposed to be working. I'll see you then. Tabitha leaves the room. As soon as she's gone, you place Kaneeka's earbuds back in your ears. Hey, is everything good? Oh, she's super hiding something. That was a waste of time. I'm going to see if I can find some miners to talk to. Glad you've seen the light. Come on, Neeks, cut her some slack. Tabby's not that bad. She's totally that bad. No use sticking around here. As you leave Tabitha's office, you take a moment to get your bearings. only to be interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of the hill. Hey, I think I just saw Rosalina. Wait, really? What is she doing here? What should we do? I mean, we should go after her. What if she gets hurt? Could you imagine what Tabitha would do if she catches Rosalina here? Alright, I'm on my way. You rush over the hill and get your bearings, the sound of active mining fading into the distance. Rosalina is nowhere to be seen, but dusty footprints point towards a nearby mine. She didn't. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago, after a collapse that killed over 100 people. And here I thought Stella was going to be the one that dragged me into an abandoned coal mine. I guess we should go after her, right? Yep. Yeah, let's head in before someone gets hurt. You really want to tag along, Meeks? Lev and I can handle this on our own. Yeah, I'm sure. As much as I hate confined spaces, I'm not allowed to let Rosalina get hurt in there, even if it means I have to go underground. There's something in there. Stella and Kaneeka appear into the mines. Before you follow, you briefly wonder if you should let Tabitha know about this. No, she'd be mad. I wish I could just text her. You take a deep breath and follow your new friends into the mine. The inside of the mine is warmer than you'd expected. The air thick and wet. The ceiling hangs much lower than you are tall, forcing you and your companions to hunch over, your legs bent in a painful squat as you begin to navigate the maze of corridors. Jeez, it's cramped down here. Does anyone else's chest feel tight? Yeah, abandoned mines are way more claustrophobic than people expect them to be, and this one's real bad. You know, because of the child miners? Or should I say, minor miners? Kaneeka visibly shudders. Okay, I'm not superstitious, but if there's one way to make sure you get haunted, it's cracking jokes about dead child laborers while walking on their grave. What can I say? I do my best to tempt spirits wherever I go. I actually snuck down a few times to get good footage, some of my ghost hunting phase. Jesus, Stella, the things you do for your viewers. Did you find anything? I wish. If any place in Scarlet Hollow is actually haunted, it'd be this mine, hands down. But all I got was dust in my lungs and a couple false alarms. Damn. Sorry. The deeper you progress into the mine, the heavier the air becomes. Coal dust hangs in thick clouds around you, even though this place was abandoned over a century ago. Stella pauses as sound rushes overhead. Oh my god, what was that? The mine's going to collapse and we're all going to die in here, aren't we? Stella sighs longingly. That's just how the wind sounds down here. You sound so disappointed. It just brings back memories of my first foray into these depths. Every time I thought I'd finally found a spooky ghost, there wound up being a very unghostly explanation. Like local wildlife, for instance. Stella turns her flashlight towards an alcove up ahead. These guys got me real good last time I was here alone. Oh my god, there were bats down here? I'm gonna get rabies, aren't I? I'm gonna get rabies and die in a mine collapse. You holding up okay, Neeks? Yeah, sorry, I'm just a little on edge. Kaneeka is stopped mid-sentence by a thunderous knock echoing from deeper in the mine. Okay, what was that? That was... I have no idea what that was. Did that sound like knocking to you guys? We should hurry and find Rosalina. Yeah, agreed. The sooner we get out of this death trap, the better. Gosh, I wonder if those sounds are Tommyknockers. Okay, no, Tommyknockers are not real. They're not allowed to be real. Are you trying to give me a panic attack? I'd love to spend some extra time poking around here. Maybe it's got something to do with the mystery. The three of you are interrupted by a second, much less distant sound of a can being popped open. Okay, now that wasn't the Tommyknockers. It came from this way. Follow me. These kids are in so much trouble. You and Kaneeka follow Stella further into the mine. Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. You breathe a sigh of relief as the tight passageways give way to a small cavern. A group of teens turn and stare at you with annoyance. What the hell are you doing in here? What the hell are you doing in here? Are you creeps? Are you stalking us? Yeah, creeps. I just said that, Alexis. If I wanted an echo, I'd yell into the Grand Canyon. Your dad's looking for you, Rosalina. And who the hell are you exactly? That's Lev, Tabby's cousin. I can't believe your dad sent people to follow you, Rosalina. That's messed up. I think that qualifies as harassment. You're right, Becca. It is messed up. I don't need him telling me where I can be. You could at least check in so he knows you're not dead. He loves you and worries about you. He's really not asking for much. Don't you kids have school tomorrow anyways? It's fall break. And we're not kids. Yeah, we're teens. Are those canned strawberry margaritas? Where did you even get those? Most of the teens avoid eye contact. The quiet one in the back tries to melt into the cavern wall. Oh no, I know this isn't you, Miles. It had better not be you. Yeah, whatever, it's me. What are you even doing here? Becca's right. It sounds to me like you're stalking and harassing and all that. You're supposed to be minding the store. It's not like anyone even comes in on Tuesdays, and Mom's there, so it's fine. Eyes dart uncomfortably around the cavern as Kaneeka tears into her brother. It's not fine. It's extremely not fine. Why do I always have to be the responsible one? Do you know what I would give to be as carefree as you? I left school so you would have a chance at your life, and this is what you're doing with it? What would Dad think if he could see you like this, stealing booze from this family store to dig around in an abandoned mine? Dad's dead, Kaneeka, but if he were here, he'd be disappointed you wound up being such a bossy jerk. Who cares if we're having canned margaritas somewhere nobody's supposed to bother us? Can you not do your underage drinking somewhere a little safer? Oh, and what are you? An expert on mine safety? They only abandoned this place because there wasn't enough coal to bother digging anymore. My dad told me, and he's like an actual foreman at the continuous mining facility, so he knows what he's talking about. Wait, I thought your dad was a charge hand. No, Alexis. He got promoted last month, and he says this place is totally safe, and we can hang out anytime we want. Becca's dad's right, though. Check how sturdy this place is. The teen with the beanie jumps up and slaps the strut on the ceiling. Was that the knocking we were hearing earlier? One of these days I'll find a real Tommyknocker. Oh my god, Zane, cut it out. Jumping up to hit stuff is extremely 8th grade. No offense, Rosalina. None taken. The other 8th graders are totally immature. Not like you, Rosalina. You're chill and smart, too. Quiet, all of you. I don't care where your dad works, Becca. This place isn't safe. Just because old timber struts have stood this long doesn't mean they'll stand forever. I'm not listening to what some sad 20-somethings have to say about where we're allowed to be. I'm not sad. Where did you get that idea? Running a clickbaity YouTube channel where you run around the woods chasing nothing is extremely sad. Anyways, Rosalina isn't going anywhere. She's better off here than at home. Yeah, tell him about where you have to sleep, Rosalina. We've been living in the library for the past couple weeks. Dad says we can't stay at our house. They've got a hot plate and a couple of cots in one of the back rooms. It's actually a pretty sick setup. No, it isn't, Zane. Rosalina deserves better. I'm sure Oscar has a good reason for that. He's a good guy and he cares about you, Rosalina. He thinks our house is haunted. Oh. Wait, what? Such a bullshit excuse. I bet he couldn't afford it anymore and is lying to save face. What a coward. Becca, I don't think you can say that about other people's families. Isn't that like bullying or something? Shut up, Zane. Back up. He says it's haunted? I can't believe he didn't mention it to me. I could investigate. There's no ghost, Stella. It would be cool if there was, but Becca's right. I just wish he would be honest with me and tell me what's going on. It's like he doesn't think I can handle it. Like I'm still a little kid. I'm sure. Okay, I'm not going to weigh in on this. This is between you and your dad, and the two of you should have a talk about it anywhere that isn't here. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, if Rosalina's house is haunted, we should like break in and ghost bust it or something. That sounds pretty rad. Whatever gets you delinquents out of this mine. Oh my god, Zane. You can't ghost bust if there's no ghost. Also, if Rosalina lives there, she can't break into her own home. There's no ghost there that you know of. I bet we could figure out how to bust it if it's actually real. And if it isn't real, then problem solved. You know, Rosalina, you could always stay over at my house until Stella ghost busts your place. I have a finished basement with a pull-out couch. Why are we talking about it like it's a thing? It's not a thing, there's no ghost. Whether there's a ghost in Oscar's house is a question for a time when we're not in immediate danger. And to ruin everybody's fun, the answer is probably no. There is not a ghost. Now, I'm gonna drag my shithead brother back home, and I suggest you kids leave this empty mine before someone gets black lung, or gets crushed by rocks, or meets any one of many terrible fates people tend to meet in abandoned mines. And just then, Kaneeka is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. That wasn't me, I swear. Then what was it? Come on, Stella, didn't you have a whole list of perfectly natural explanations for scary mine noises? It's Tommy knockers for sure. I know that isn't why we've came down here, but we've got to check it out. Stella? I know. Weird stuff's been happening around here the past few days. What if this is our chance to get an actual solid lead? The stakes couldn't be higher. Do you have no sense of self-preservation? If you guys are going after something spooky, count me in. Nobody is going deeper in the mine. Nobody's staying in the mine. We're all leaving, please, before my heart gives out. It'll be fun, Neeks. It will not. You hear something over the sound of Stella pleading with Kaneeka. Something sounding like shuffling of feet on stone and whispering mischievous teens. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as you notice her. Stop arguing, you knuckleheads. The teens are slipping away. Wait, what? Rosalina, don't go in there. Becca and Alexis, stop trying to get us all killed. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna hang back. I knew you weren't cool enough to hang out with us. Rosalina, come on. Alexis, we'll have more fun without her. Alright. Are you kidding me? Rosalina, what were you thinking? What were they thinking? I don't know, I'm so sorry. Wow, Kaneeka, maybe if you weren't scared of the dark or whatever, you would have noticed them sneak off. I noticed them sneak off, and I've been zoning out the whole time we've been here. Oh hey, they must have squeezed through that child-sized tunnel. Yeah. Oh no. I've always wondered where that goes, but I've never been able to get my hips through there. Becca shouts from the other side of the tunnel. We are not about to let you come in here and ruin our good time. The mine is safe. We've been here like 1,000,000 times. Yeah, if Becca says we're safe, then we totally are. Sorry, Rosalina, I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever. Come on, Alexis. I know a cool spot this way. Okay, I think we can catch up to them if we just follow their voices. Do you want to take these three out of here while Lev and I track them down? I know I've made a fuss about not liking this place, but I'm not about to leave you two down here. What if something bad happens and I'm not out here to help? Or what if you turn into something totally normal down here that you think is a ghost, and I miss my chance to figure out what it really is? Alright, knuckleheads, if I don't escort you three out of here, can we trust you to actually leave and go home? Yeah, sure. I could never fit in that tunnel anyways. They've crossed a barrier that I cannot, so my time here is up. But only because Stella promised me a ghost hunt tomorrow. Whatever. I still have to do my dailies, and the service sucks down here. What about you, Rosalina? Are you sure you don't want me to come along? I could help you get Becca and Alexis to leave. I think your dad would kill me. Okay, can I at least wait outside? Okay, sure. You can wait outside for us. Just be careful. Alright. Miles, Zane, and Rosalina quietly head back towards the entrance. Alright, let's get this over with. Let's do this. We can get coffee at Winnie's once we're out of here. My treat. You and Kaneeka exchange a glance as Stella ventures forward. As the three of you move deeper into the mines, you hear echoes of conversation bounce across the walls. Becca, why are we doing this again? We could get in so much trouble. We're doing this because I'm not about to take a life advice from a YouTuber and a dropout. Wow, that is so uncalled for. I didn't drop out. I'm going back to vet school as soon as my family doesn't need me here. I don't know. I think Stella's kind of cool. I like the River Runner video a lot. Come on. She doesn't even have a sponsor. What kind of YouTuber doesn't have a sponsor? I mean, not yet, but I'm in talks with Meat Rice, and I make plenty of money from ads and donations. Are you okay, Kaneeka? It's fine. I just can't believe we have to deal with that Becca girl slandering us while we're sticking our necks out for her. God, I hate her. Normally I'd say she's just a kid, but if she doesn't have an uncanny ability to go right for the jugular, let's press on. Another knock closer interrupts your thoughts, followed by another, followed by another. Is it just me, or is the knocking coming from the same direction as those kids? It's not just you. I really don't like all that knocking. Calm down, Alexis. It's just the mine sounds. Did you see that? Why are we still down here, Becca? No, it's just a shadow. There's no reason to get freaked out. Becca, I swear I saw something. Shut up. There's nothing here. Stop trying to scare me. Yeah, let's keep moving. As you progress deeper into the mine, the knocking grows more frequent. It's still distant, but it's much louder than before. The tunnel ends abruptly in front of you. A century-old ladder is the only way forward. Becca, we need to leave. This isn't fun anymore. This is plenty fun. Bet you're only saying that because you want to go hang out with your dorky crush. She's just an 8th grader. Becca, this isn't about Rosalina. I know you can hear the knocking. Sure sounds like they're down there, alright. You want to wait up, Neeks? The climb down looks nasty, and I don't think I can climb down and hold Gretchen. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. That ladder looks older than all of us combined. Good luck. Let's do this. It's so cute. Stella hoists herself over the edge and begins to climb down. You walk to the ladder and climb down. Stay safe, love. Hey, kids. Oh, great. The adults are here. Thanks, Alexis. Not nice. Oh, all of these are keen eye stuff. Alexis, you're so much braver than you think you are. You don't need to let Becca kick you around. Excuse you? No, excuse you, Becca. I don't want to be down here. I don't want to hang out with you. I just want to go leave, and I'm going to do that right now. Whatever. This isn't fun anymore. We'll leave. Oh, good job. As Becca and Alexis move towards the ladder, a black chamber before you draws your focus. Finally, let's get the hell out of here. The voices around you, those of the teens and your companions, sound odd, distant. There's something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. You don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest. A desperate need to perceive and be perceived. Wrap yourself in the darkness of the pit. Hey, are you alright, love? Bear witness. Oh. What is it? Lev, are you alright? Thank God you're alive. It looked like you had a seizure or something and then you just conked out. You're okay, Kaneeka. Thank God. Don't move a muscle. I don't want you straining yourself while you're still recovering from whatever that was. Kaneeka and I are going to get you help. We'll be back soon, promise. Don't die on me, alright? You fade back out of consciousness as your companion clambers out of the pit, intent on your rescue. You raise up on your elbows, head still swimming from visions. Your surroundings coming back into focus. Your head throbs as the knocking continues, now magnitudes more intense than ever. You can't help but notice the timber struts around you trembling, as if they were being struck by invisible blows with each knock. They're all that stand between you and the many tons of rock over your head, and they suddenly seem terribly fragile. The entire cavern shakes with the sound of rock fall. It's time to get out of here. Climb like hell. Seizure be damned. You push your body to move as quickly as it can, though you're slowed down by the cramped corridors and winding passageways of the mine. The knocking is deafening now, as if someone were trying to break through walls with fists of iron. You continue to push forward, your burning muscles giving way to pure adrenaline. Then comes the sound of splintering wood. You pick up the pace. The entrance is so close. And there it is. Freedom! You manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay! Thank God! And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call. We could have all died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up! What did you just say to me? I said you should shut up. I'm so sick of your two-faced bullshit. They didn't almost get us killed down there, you did. And now you're trying to pass it on to whoever you can. It's just a cherry on top of this whole shit show of friendship. I'm really not in a good headspace for this conversation. I could have died down there. Why are you doing this to me? No, enough. No playing the victim this time. Being friends with Rosalina has made me realize how horrible you are to me. Friends aren't supposed to be mean to each other. Friends shouldn't be scared of each other. I never wanted to go in that stupid mine. It was your idea and we could have died. If these grown-ups hadn't showed up, we'd be buried alive in that stupid little tunnel, drinking margarita in a can. Screw all of you. Should we go after her? No, let her have her little tantrum. Did that feel good, Alexis? Finally telling her off? I guess. She's gonna be so mad at me. She probably won't speak to me for a month, maybe the rest of my life. It's okay, Alexis. We don't need her. What do we do now? Now I drive you two home. I've already texted your parents and I'm sure they're worried sick about you. Rosalina and Alexis duck off to the side as a furious Tabitha approaches your group. I came as soon as I heard that crash. What the hell are you three doing here? I thought I gave you very specific instructions, Lev. Stay in one place while I finish my meeting. I was only gone for an hour and I found you here at the site of a mine collapse. Tabby, come on, it's not Lev's fault. Stella's right. If it's anyone's fault, it's yours. You have an abandoned mine on your property that wasn't even boarded up. It's only a matter of time till something like this happened. You're lucky no one got hurt. How dare you? It's not like I put up a big neon sign saying, cool place for teens to hang. It's clearly not safe. She's just another coal baron. Nobody got hurt. What's the big deal? The big deal is that you keep winding up in mortal peril. Stop putting my cousin in mortal peril. Come on, guys. What's the point in arguing like this? I know it can feel cathartic to point fingers and yell, but what's that going to accomplish other than bruised egos? Everyone's fine. You're right. I'm going to get my car, and then we're going back to the estate, love. Tabitha storms off, and you're afforded a quiet moment to catch up with Stella and Kaneeka. We really dodged a bullet tonight, didn't we? Yeah, thank God you noticed them sneaking off. You were incredible down in the pit, too. That was too easy to be our ditchling problem. Yeah, I think you're right. We've still got a lot of unanswered questions, even more than we had this morning, and we had a lot of questions this morning. This is all still a little too magic for me. Just because two bad things have happened doesn't mean there's a pattern. Right? There was a stone carving on the wall of that pit. It gave me some sort of hallucination. I saw what happened to this place. Are you sure it wasn't just auto-suggestion? We talked about that mine a lot today. I don't know. Lev had some kind of seizure. Where'd it go? Next to a creepy stone carving. It was like something out of a movie. That doesn't mean they had an actual vision. There has to be some other explanation. Looks like Tabitha's back. I'd better drive those kids home. Come on, it's time to go. I'll see you tomorrow, Caleb. I'd really rather you didn't. If you're going to run around almost getting killed every night, keep my cousin out of it. Your cousin is an adult, Tabitha. They can make their own decisions. Not while they're under my roof. Come on, let's go. As if to illustrate her point, Tabitha grabs your arm, dragging you back towards the car. I'll text you when we're back. Tabitha doesn't say a word, as the car struts along a darkened road. You try to keep an eye on the surrounding wilderness as she drives, wary of what might lurk behind the tree line. I really don't appreciate being dragged off like that. Why do you treat Stella like that? Didn't you two used to be friends? I don't want to talk about Stella, and it's none of your business anyway. You and Kaneeka really don't seem to get along. She pushes my buttons. At least everyone's okay. There are a lot of parents who should have kept tighter reins on their kids. I never got into any trouble like this when I was a teen, and I have Pearl-Ann to thank for it. I hated it at the time, but the strictness paid off. What am I telling you this for? I don't really think the parents are to blame here. I beg to differ. People who really aren't ready to be parents. And clearly there are some parents at fault for this who weren't ready. Take the librarian. There are a ton more qualified to be parents who can't even conceive, and here he is having a kid at 19 and letting her do whatever, just the hell she wants. It's not fair. You're right, it isn't fair. Tabitha goes quiet. Seems that's all you're getting from her on this. You ride in silence. Your eyes wander back to the tree line as you and Tabitha sink back into silence. You once again cross the threshold into the estate, the musty stench of decaying mansion greeting you with its undertones of mildew and wood rot. Well, this day has been a lot more stressful than it needed to be, but at least nobody got hurt. I'm going to bed. I suggest you do the same. Good night, Tabitha. I'll see you in the morning. Tabitha turns and makes her way up the stairs. You head up to your room and turn in. You collapse into Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. Your phone buzzes on the table. Y'all, these are those things, right? Kaneeka sends a picture of ditchlings by the side of the road. I saw them again, too. Another picture, this time of them staring from the tree. WTF, those things are definitely not hairless monkeys or raccoons or whatever. I don't know what the hell they are. I guess there's more of them being here. There's more to them being here than the mine collapse. No way I'm sleeping tonight. You think about looking out the guest room window, but at this point, you're too exhausted to leave your bed. The adrenaline from this evening is finally wearing off, replaced by a creeping exhaustion that threatens to overwhelm you. Your limbs feel heavy, your eyelids slipping down over your eyes even as you stare down at the ominous pictures on your phone. If it weren't for the pit of dread balling in your stomach, you would almost feel comfortable as you settle between the covers, your tired bones sinking into the decrepit mattress. When you close your eyes, you can see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall and to the visions it imparted upon you. Your eyes shoot back open, your heart pounding as the door to your room swings open. Just the cat. It's always just the cat. It's nice to see another living being, even one as unfriendly as Tabitha's cat. The comfort of her presence puts your mind at ease, and you finally slip into sleep? I missed it. Oops. Love the desk. Oh, the closet? No, the hallway. What is she hiding from us? Oh, the creepy baby room. Oh, the basement. I wish we could explore. Oh, so that's the end of episode 2. That's so exciting. So much happened. Thank goodness we didn't die, and no one else died. So that was episode 2. Things are getting a little dark now. There was a collapse in the mine and we hallucinated, maybe. I will see you all again for episode 3, and tomorrow I'm planning on streaming twice, which is a lot, but I'm going to be streaming Yume Nikki in the morning and Fields of Mystery in the afternoon. So I'll be finishing up Yume Nikki. That's exciting. I'm very excited. I will see you next time. Goodbye.